Hi, this is Miss Wright, and I am continuing my review of a key passage from chapter 51 of Great Expectations. And we're also going to talk about the types of argument that Jaggers makes during this passage. So I'm going to back up just a little bit. For whose sake would you reveal the secret? For the father's? I think he would not be much the better for the mother. For the mother's? I think if she had done such a deed, she would be safer where she was. For the daughter's? I think it would hardly serve her to establish her parentage for the information of her husband and to drag her back to disgrace after an escape of 20 years, pretty secure to last for life. So basically, what he's saying here is, why would you reveal who Estella's true parents are? It wouldn't help Magwitch. It wouldn't help the mother, and it most certainly wouldn't help Estella, who is now seen as a refined lady in life. She has a rich husband, and if her husband ever found out her true humble beginnings, he would use it to make her life miserable, to disgrace her, to have ultimate control over her. So she was saved for over 20 years from being uh, the lowest in society. So why would you drag her back there? Um, but add the case that you had loved her, Pip, and had made her the subject of those poor dreams, which were his aspirations to have a better life at the beginning of the story, so he could attain Stella, which have at one time or another been in the heads of more men than you think likely. So you're not the only one who was in love with Estella and who had aspirations to attain her. Then I tell you that you had better and would much sooner, when you had thought well of it, chop off the bandaged left hand of yours with your bandaged right hand, and then pass the chopper to Wemmick there to cut that off too. So he's saying it would be better for you to cut off both your hands than for you to betray Estella, betray this secret to anyone. Um, it would cause you less pain, I guess, um, and her less pain for you to cut off your hand. So he's being kind of hyperbolic there, but he's basically emphasizing to Pip that the pain that you would suffer from cutting off your hands is less pain than you would suffer from ruining Estella's life, which is true, I would think. All right, so in this passage, as an attorney, he is using various means of persuasion. And the three basic types of persuasion are pathos, logos, and ethos. So, pathos is um, a when a writer or speaker attempts to inspire an emotional reaction in the audience, usually a deep feeling of suffering, but sometimes joy, pride, anger, humor, patriotism, or any of a dozen other emotions. So when an author uses techniques in his writing that compel the reader or the audience to feel a certain way, and to come over or to his way of thinking, this is pathos. Logos is an appeal to logic, means to convince an audience by the use of logic or reason. And you would think that an attorney would primarily deal in logos. Ethos, or the ethical appeal, means to convince an audience of the author's credibility or character. So whoever the speaker is not just real is not just using facts or to try to persuade you, but is actually using his own credibility, his own character, his own experience, and saying, well, look at me, look, I'm this particular kind of person, and I wouldn't lead you wrong, so you can definitely believe me. So as you reflect back on this passage, which one or which two or maybe all three, which types of argumentation is he using here, what techniques, and you should be able to point to specific words, phrases, sentences in the passage that would allow us to know that he is either using pathos, he is using logos, or he is using ethos. So you will be writing about that in the near future. Okay? I hope this was some help to you, and I will see you soon. Shout out to my great students. Make sure that you have subscribed, and make sure that you are ready for your final test. Okay? Bye bye.